For 2 months after the Pathankot terror attacks, India today exposes security chink at our borders amid raging questions just how the enemies managed to breach our defense mechanisms time and again. India Today's internal security correspondent Kamaljit Sandhu has revealed just how 558 kilometers of western border in Punjab, which protects us from the enemy, has withered with the passage of time. The border fencing built in the year 1989 has only decayed and needs to be urgently repaired. As you can see on your screens right now, it's not only the floodlights installed along the border that are in dire need of replacement. The border security force that mans this long international border has red flagged the issue with the Union Home Ministry. But even in the last so many years, the internal security matter still seems to be caught up in red tapeism and again the usual budgetary constraints.
If the replacement is not being made in time, it's certainly a sad state of affairs. Because when the decision was taken to fence the border, it meant accepting a very huge expenditure. It is very costly, and when you decided to have this fence, you also have decided that you have to replace them from time to time, because after all it is iron, it will rust. You may paint them, but still open to the elements, it will rust, and it is going over hundreds of kilometers. So when you build a fence and the fence costs so many thousand crores, then you have to keep so many thousand crores every year for maintenance of the fence.
We have a limited budget and we have to spread out across various sectors, and Finance Ministry has to do the balancing job. And Home Ministry has been putting across our needs and everything to the Finance Ministry. I hope that in the days to come, we will be able to have adequate financial support. And without financial support also, we are doing it. Our forces are round the clock taking care of the border security. Definitely, we need to plug those holes, and we will be able to take care of the challenges.
We had projected so many times, and now recently, in 1 year, all the rested areas are almost replaced. Though proposal in the pipeline with MHA to replace the complete fencing all along the Punjab border, but the most weak areas were identified battalion wise, and almost 99% have been replaced. As far as the BFLs are concerned, now government has given a pilot project for this LEDs. We have submitted the report during foggy seasons, whether it is effective during foggy season or not, and accordingly they will replace the BFLs also.
India Today's Kamaljit Sandhu joins us for more on this. Kamaljit, isn't this unfortunate? It's actually these gaps which make our borders so vulnerable despite a huge presence of security personnel.
Absolutely, Avantika. Behind every terror attack, there are obviously lessons to be learned, but some lessons are learned the hard way. And now remember, the fence was put in 1989, and the BFL, which is the border floodlights, were put anywhere between 87 to 1993. Now they have been rusting for a good 10 to 15 years. Now BSF had red flagged this issue long ago, but it's been 10 years since they put up that issue itself. But nothing much has really happened on ground. Now, when we're talking about the change of focus of Pakistan, the two recent attacks have obviously put the spotlight right back on Punjab. We're talking about the Gurdaspur Dina Nagar attack. Then we're talking about the Pathankot terror attack. We're standing in Pathankot, outside the Pathankot Air Base right now. But this is the focus which has been brought back to this entire Punjab border, a border which we've always thought is extremely secure, it's well lit, it's well protected as far as the fence is concerned. But yes, even as there have been certain areas which have been identified as vulnerable, where there has been a change as far as border fence is concerned, post the Pathankot attack, most of the areas have old fence. You can actually, with a heavy boot, actually kick them, and they may just break open. And we've got through kilometers and post after post, and we've seen a weakened wire. Now, our own defense mechanisms, there is also a lack of coordination, but these are the gadgets which have been put in place. And remember, they're not just a physical barrier with Pakistan, they're also a psychological barrier. And if there are chinks in the armor, this is going to be a big question. And remember, it's not just NDA governments, also the UPA government.
Yes.
This matter has been flagged for a 10-15 year period. So all governments are to be blamed. While they have money in terms of hiking money as far as MLAs, the MPs are concerned,
Okay.
what about the most important, the internal security of the country? And that's what brings the question as to what the politicians are really doing, talking about budget constraints and red tapeism, while the soldiers are guarding it 24/7. Little they expect is
Okay.
that government will do as much as these men are putting on the ground.
Absolutely. Stay with me, Kamaljeet. We also have with us security expert, retired Major General G.D. Bakshi on the phone line. Sir, thanks so much, for speaking to us and taking the time out. Tell me, is it only budget constraints? What are the main challenges, which are actually there to maintain the repair and upkeep for our borders?
You see, the fact is that the riverine terrain in the Punjab just below Jammu and Kashmir lends itself, facilitates infiltration. So many major rivers and nalas that flow from India to Pakistan. And as such, these cannot be fenced. They are water bodies, they cannot be fenced. Either side of these are huge elephant grass, sarkanda grass, which further facilitates infiltration. The soil is soft and tunnels can be dug beneath the fence. So therefore, all these aspects have been making this a particular focus of infiltration. The Pakistanis find that the line of control is very strongly held. There are well-tied fences and electronic listening devices there, which make infiltration very difficult in the line of control. So they have been, for the past few years, shifting the locus of their infiltration efforts to the riverine terrain of the Punjab, especially the Gurdaspur sector. They have facilitated this infiltration effort by trying to smuggle in drugs on a huge scale, narcotics, which creates its own support infrastructure in terms of carriers and agents and various stockists and political people who get involved for the sake of making money. So this narco-terrorism makes a very, very dangerous combination, which it has been doing in the Punjab. They first try and create conduits to smuggle in narcotics, and then try and exploit the same conduits to smuggle in weapons, equipment, explosives, and to push in armed terrorists, as they did in the case of Pathankot.
All right, sir. Thanks so much for speaking to us. We also have with us on the phone line retired Major General Ashok Mehta. Thank you for speaking to us. Is it actually such a Herculean task to ensure the upkeep and maintenance of our borders, sir? Because we just saw in our visuals and what our correspondent managed to get, rotting wires and floodlights not working. Shouldn't this be of the highest priority for all the governments?
Indeed, national security must be the highest priority. But alas, the problem in this country is that you initially buy equipment and you install the equipment, and thereafter you forget about that equipment. The most important thing is maintenance and serviceability of that equipment. And there are no standard operating procedures in this country to ensure that this is the case. And I regret to say that the paramilitary forces are usually neglectful of this. The gentleman who was speaking before me mentioned that on the line of control, which is manned by the army, the efficiency of usable equipment is far higher and greater than on the international border, and therefore this is where the state governments come in, because this is the responsibility of also the state government in that particular sector. So a combination of central and state effort has to go into this, but we have to ensure that what is installed is working and continues to work, and this can only happen if you have maintenance procedures.
All right. So thanks so much for speaking to us. Kamalji, thank you so much for joining us and getting us that report on the condition of our borders in our country.
Obviously, we can, focus on the positive things that we did there against Australia.
We've got a very different team to those games that we played. We went through quite a few players throughout those 3 games.